Be prepared. Everyone thought this upcoming moon would be like the others, but they're about to feel what it's really been hiding. Because when the moon wants your attention, it puts on a show. This weekend, it's doing the opposite. And silence is never innocent. There's a reason why this isn't just another moon. Because it's targeting the ones who lie awake at night, the ones with hearts already cracking, the ones who can feel what's about to break open. Even if they can't name it yet, which one are you? Before we go deeper, do 3 things right now if you feel this too. Like this video to charge your energy, subscribe so you don't miss what comes next, and drop 777 in the comments to claim your protection this weekend. By tomorrow. Some of you will already sense the shift. But do you really know what it means? The moon isn't screaming this time. It's whispering. It's not chaos outside. It's chaos brewing inside. Why do you feel restless when the sky looks calm? Why does your chest tighten when nothing seems wrong? Why do you sense something shifting even when the world stands still? The question isn't what the moon is doing. The question is why it's so quiet right before the break. Why silence feels heavier than thunder. Why your spirit knows before your eyes can see. Think of the thing you've been ignoring. The choice you keep delaying. The words you never spoke, but never forgot. This moon has a message buried under silence. Deal with it now. Or it will deal with you. You might feel it as a tightness you can't stretch away. A thought that knocks at 3 a.m. and won't leave. An old memory rising without warning, pulling at your heart like a tide. Some of you will brush it off, call it nothing, blame it on stress or tiredness. But ask yourself honestly, if it's nothing, why does it weigh so much? Why does it come back when you're alone? When there's no noise left to hide behind, why does your heart feel what your mind won't name? The silence of this moon isn't empty. It's loaded, tense like a held breath. It's the universe stepping back, waiting to see what you'll choose without a sign forcing your hand. Will you keep pretending not to hear until it screams? Or will you listen while it's still a whisper? Close your eyes for a moment. Forget what you think you should feel. Instead, notice what your body is telling you. Where is the weight sitting? What moment flashes through your mind when you hear the word change? That's your answer. That's the door this moon is knocking on. Don't turn away from it. What you avoid now doesn't disappear. It waits. And when it finally breaks through, it comes louder and harder than before. What you face now you can soften. What you bury returns sharper. This weekend isn't just a date on the calendar. It's a shift inside you, pushing against walls you've built to protect what you don't want to feel. But those walls aren't as strong as you think. And this moon knows exactly where the cracks already are. And if you're still here, still listening, you already sense it. Which part of your life feels unsteady, even if nothing on the outside has changed? Where do you keep whispering to yourself, not yet, even when your soul says now? Take a breath. Pause if you need to. Ask yourself out loud, what am I really avoiding? Say it, even softly. Write it in the comments if you can. And if it feels too raw, just type, I know what it is. Because what you name now won't have to explode later. This moon doesn't come to punish you. It comes to free what you've locked away. But freedom can feel like breaking before it feels like relief. And if you think this is the hardest part, wait until you hear who feels it first. And why the ones who look the calmest might be the ones closest to falling apart. Don't look away now. The next part will come closer than you expect. And it's not finished yet. Stay with me. Let the silence speak. Which part of you is ready to listen? And which part is still pretending it can't hear? This moon hunts the hearts already cracking. It doesn't bother with those still sleeping peacefully. It seeks out the ones lying awake, staring at the ceiling at 2 a.m., replaying moments they wish they could forget, or moments they wish they dared to live. It knows where to press. It finds the hearts that seem calm by daylight, but ache the moment the lights go out. The ones who've learned to wear a smile so well, even they almost believe it. Almost. Because when you stand in front of the mirror at night, there's no one left to fool. And your own eyes always know the truth you don't say out loud. Is that you? Are you trying to hold it together when deep down something's begging to break free? Maybe it's the words you never sent, the goodbye you never gave, or the dream you buried under not now. Maybe it's a feeling that something is ending, or something wants to begin, and you don't know which scares you more. You might catch it in the small hours, that restless twist in your stomach. You roll over, tell yourself it's nothing, but it keeps tugging at your chest like a question you don't want to answer. This moon doesn't roar, it whispers. But the whisper won't leave you alone. And the ones who feel it first aren't weak. They're the ones closest to the truth they've been running from. There's an itch under your skin that won't quiet down. A weight that doesn't show on your face but drags behind every word you say. You keep going, keep smiling, keep telling everyone, maybe even yourself, I'm fine. But late at night, I'm fine tastes like a lie. And your heart knows it. This moon doesn't break what's whole. It reveals what's already cracking. And the strongest looking people often carry the heaviest secrets. The laughter that sounds the loudest by day can echo the emptiest by night. Maybe you've been carrying something so long you don't know where it ends and you begin. Maybe part of you thinks if you stop pretending, everything might fall apart. But another part wonders what might finally be free if you did. Close your eyes. Where do you feel it? In your chest? Your throat? Your stomach? What thought flashes just before you push it away? That's the place this moon is touching. That's the part of you it refuses to let go unseen. And if you feel that itch under your skin this weekend, wait until you hear why. Because it isn't punishment. It's a moment of truth. The moon isn't here to harm you. It's here to ask, what happens if you finally admit what you really want, what you really fear, or what you're really done pretending about? This moon sees through masks, no matter how carefully you've built them. It finds the silence behind your words, the secret in your chest, the wish you barely let yourself wish. Don't run. Even if you can't act yet, just admit it to yourself. Say it softly, I know what it is. Or if it feels too raw to name out loud, just write, I know, somewhere you'll see it. Because what you hide doesn't go away. It waits. And when it finally comes up, it rarely asks politely. And this weekend, the ones who will feel it first are the ones who've been waiting the longest to stop pretending. The ones whose silence has grown too loud to bear. Stay here. Don't turn away, because next, we're going to see why the quiet isn't the danger, and what really begins when the silence finally breaks. Most moons roar. They pull the tides, drag feelings to the surface, and force truths out of hiding. They light up the sky so bright that even the things we pretend not to see can't stay hidden. But this time, the moon stays silent, and silence is never empty. A quiet moon doesn't mean there's nothing to say. It means what's waiting to speak is so old, so raw, it can't be shouted. It can only be felt. A silent moon is like a still lake. You look at the surface and see calm water, stars reflected back at you. But under that glassy surface, monsters you thought were long gone still breathe. Memories you buried still open their eyes. This isn't about fear. It's about truth. The truth you've refused to speak. The truth you hoped would disappear. If you just kept it quiet long enough, what have you buried so deep even you forgot it was there? This moon hasn't forgotten. Somewhere inside you, there's a memory you don't visit. A regret that still stings even though you pretend it doesn't matter. A choice you keep putting off because you don't trust what might happen if you finally say yes or no. The silence of this moon is a test. Can you sit with what you've ignored without running? Can you let it rise to the surface, even if it scares you? Because silence holds a different kind of danger. When the moon roars, at least you know what you're fighting. But when it goes quiet, you're left alone with the battle inside yourself. And that battle can cut deeper than anything the outside world could do. Maybe it's a dream you left behind because someone told you it was impossible. Maybe it's love you feel but never speak because you're afraid it won't be returned. Maybe it's the anger you swallow so often it's turned into a cold knot in your chest. It's not gone. It's just waiting. And this weekend, the moon's silence will make it impossible to ignore. Close your eyes for a second. Listen to what your body tells you before your thoughts get in the way. Where do you feel the ache? What thought flashes across your mind when you think of change? That's not random. That's the quiet moon pointing a finger straight at the part of you that's been asking to be seen. You might try to distract yourself. Work more, scroll more, laugh louder. But late at night, when your guard drops, the silence will speak. And it won't use words. It'll show up as a tightness in your throat, a heaviness in your chest, a restlessness that makes sleep feel impossible. And if you dare to listen, really listen, it will tell you what needs to be faced before it's too late. This moon isn't here to punish you. It's here to clear the space where truth lives, to remind you that what you keep hidden rules you more than what you reveal. And the scariest thing isn't what might happen if you let the truth out. It's what might happen if you don't. So pause for a moment. Ask yourself gently, what part of me have I silenced for so long it barely remembers how to speak? Write it down if you can. Or if the words feel too heavy, just whisper to yourself, I know you're still there. Because even the quietest truth keeps breathing. Even the oldest wish still wants to live. And when the silence finally breaks, what comes out won't just be pain. It might be the first real breath you've taken in years. Stay close. Because next, we'll see how this moon's silence isn't the end. It's the sign that something inside you is about to wake up. By tomorrow night, something small will feel strangely heavy. You'll see it, a message left unread, a photo that pops up out of nowhere, a song you haven't heard in years that suddenly cuts deeper than it should. A memory you thought you buried will bubble up, uninvited and stubborn. It won't look like a cosmic event on the outside. The sky might even look gentle, harmless. But inside, the first ripple has already started. The universe knows exactly where. You thought you healed but really only covered the wound. It's subtle. A tug in your chest, a sudden heaviness you can't explain, an ache that follows you through the day. Don't fight the feeling. Feel it. Let it run its course. Because it's not here to punish you. It's here to free you from the weight you've carried quietly for too long. It might come as an urge to speak to someone you haven't spoken to in months, or as a sharp realization that what you kept telling yourself was fine isn't. You might wake up tomorrow and feel like you can't keep pretending, not even for one more day. That's not weakness. That's the first ripple doing its work. The moon isn't here to break you. It's here to break the walls you built to keep yourself safe, but ended up keeping yourself stuck. And when that ripple touches the part of you you've kept silent, you'll know. It won't ask politely. It'll come as a thought you can't shake, a feeling that keeps returning, no matter how many times you push it away. Notice what shows up tomorrow. Who do you think of first? What truth comes to the surface before you? Bury it again? What dream keeps knocking at your door, refusing to stay silent? That's not random. That's the moon calling out the pieces of you that still want to be seen, to be healed, to be heard. Pause, even if it's for a minute. Close your eyes and ask yourself, what am I really afraid to feel? What part of me have I kept locked away? Because I thought it was too messy, too late, or too painful. Because the ripple isn't here to destroy you. It's here to show you what your heart has been whispering all along. And if you let yourself feel it, really feel it, you might discover the pain you've avoided is softer than the pain of pretending. Tomorrow, the universe doesn't need you to make the big move. have the big talk, or fix it all at once. All it asks is that you stop turning away, even if it feels uncomfortable, even if it feels raw. Because what you feel, you can finally release. And what you release stops owning you. But what if you ignore it? What if you bury it again? Tell yourself you're too busy, too strong, too logical to let an old wound open. That's where the danger lives. Not in the ripple itself, but in what happens when it's denied. Because tomorrow isn't the explosion. It's only the whisper before the shout. And what comes after depends on whether you dare to listen. Now, this moon isn't here to harm you. It's here to show you where you're still alive under the armor, where you still care, where you still hope. But if you close your eyes to it, the energy doesn't disappear. It grows quietly until one day it won't ask for your permission anymore. Stay with this feeling. Notice what tomorrow brings up, no matter how small it seems. The smallest ripple can crack the strongest mask, and next, we'll face the hardest truth. What really happens if you keep turning away? And why the cost is always higher than you think. If you turn away, the energy doesn't vanish. It festers, quietly but powerfully, beneath the surface you keep so polished for everyone else to see. The silence you choose isn't empty, it's full of all the words you didn't speak, the truths you didn't face, the choices you didn't dare to make. Unspoken words turn into regrets that wake you up at 3 a.m., making your heart pound for reasons you can't name. They turn into heavy memories that cling to you, shaping how you see yourself even if you pretend you've moved on. Choices delayed don't stay frozen forever. They turn into choices made for you by time, by circumstance, by other people who don't know what your heart truly wants. And by the time you see it, it's too late to call it yours. The moon can't force your hand. The universe doesn't shove you down your path. But it can make standing still so uncomfortable, so suffocating, that you'll feel like you're being pushed from inside. Ask yourself, which scares you more? The risk of change, or the price of doing nothing? Most people think avoiding the pain keeps them safe. But the truth is, the pain of staying stuck is a slow poison. You won't notice it at first. It shows up quietly as a tiredness you can't explain, a bitterness that slips into your words, a distance between you and the people you love. Then one day, you look around and realize the walls you built to protect yourself have turned into your prison, and by then, the cost is always higher than you imagined. Because the moment you turn away from what you feel, you also turn away from what could heal you. You turn away from the love that could reach you, the strength you could discover, the life you could finally claim as your own. The moon's silence isn't punishment, it's a last gentle warning. It's the universe saying, if you won't listen to the whisper now, you'll hear the scream later. Tomorrow's ripple can still be met with courage. You can still choose to sit with what rises instead of burying it again. You can still speak what your heart has been holding. But if you keep turning away, the moon will keep pulling at what's hidden until the pull becomes too strong to ignore. And then it won't feel like a choice anymore. It'll feel like your life forcing you to face what you refuse to see. It might show up as a sudden argument, a loss you didn't see coming, an ending that breaks your heart but opens your eyes. The longer you deny what your soul knows, the more dramatic the wake-up call becomes. Not because the universe wants to hurt you, but because it knows what you could be if you stopped clinging to what you're not. So pause now, or breathe. Ask yourself honestly, what are you most afraid to admit? What truth feels so dangerous you'd rather stay silent? Write it in the comments if you dare, or just write, I see it now. Because even admitting that much breaks the first layer of fear. Don't mistake silence for peace. Sometimes is the loudest alarm you'll ever hear. And ignoring it won't keep you safe, it will keep you stuck. Look at your life. Where are you holding on so tightly that your own hands are turning numb? Where are you so afraid to lose what you have that you've stopped reaching for what you really want? Change carries risk, yes, But doing nothing carries a certainty that tomorrow will look exactly like today, and the next year will feel like the last dot, and deep down, you already know you weren't born just to repeat yesterday. Next will ask the question that matters most. If you did listen, truly listen, what might finally break free and what life could begin? This isn't about your zodiac sign. It's about the truth you keep denying. It's about the love you feel but keep locked behind polite words and careful distance. The goodbye you know you need to say but keep delaying, hoping time will do it for you. The passion that burns in you late at night, only to be dimmed by dawn because you're afraid of what it might cost to let it burn freely. The moon doesn't care about your plans. It doesn't care about your schedule, your excuses, or the stories you tell yourself to feel safe. It cares about your truth, the raw, messy, undeniable part of you that still wants to live, even if you pretend it doesn't. And this weekend, the moon is pushing you to choose. Not tomorrow, not next month, but now. You might already feel it, a pressure building in your chest, an itch under your skin, an urge to speak, to act, to finally stop pretending you don't care. That's not random. That's your truth fighting to break through the silence you've wrapped around it. Ask yourself honestly, what are you most afraid to say out loud? Who are you most afraid to say it to? And what part of your life have you kept on pause because the truth felt too heavy to hold? Say it before the moon makes you show it, because the energy you hide doesn't disappear. It leaks into your words, your choices, your sleepless nights. It shapes your life quietly until one day you wake up and wonder how you got so far from what you really wanted. This isn't about dramatic moves or grand gestures. It's about a single honest moment, telling someone how you really feel, admitting to yourself that something has to end, or letting yourself want what you keep pretending you don't need. Which one are you ready to face? Because if you don't choose, the choice won't vanish. It will choose you. The moon's silence isn't permission to keep waiting. It's a test to see if you'll move before the universe has to move you. And you already know, waiting until you're forced is always harder than stepping forward on your own. So ask yourself now, what truth is yours to claim? What love is yours to speak? What life is yours to start living? Because this isn't about what the moon does. It's about what you do when the moon makes it impossible to keep hiding. Say it. Even if your voice shakes, even if your heart races, even if no one else understands. Say it, because the moon is listening. And because you've been waiting to hear it from your own lips longer than you admit. What truth are you ready to face tonight? One final warning and an invitation. This moon won't shout. It won't crack the sky open with thunder. Its power is quieter but sharper, and silence cuts the deepest dot if you keep waiting, hoping the feeling will fade. It won't. What you bury now will find its way back, louder, heavier, harder to hold. This isn't to scare you. It's to remind you the choice will never be easier than it is right now. So here's the invitation. Step into the truth you've been circling around. Say what you've swallowed. Feel what you've denied. Love who you really love. End what quietly ended long ago. Start what keeps whispering to you at midnight. You don't need to do it all at once, but you do need to begin. Because the moon isn't here to ruin your life. It's here to free it. If you're still listening, it means some part of you is ready. Which truth will you face tonight? Write it in the comments if you're brave enough, or just type "I'm ready" if you don't have the words yet. Like this video if your heart feels the pull. Subscribe so you won't miss what comes next. And remember, the moon can't force you, but your soul already knows the way. Now ask yourself quietly, what would my life look like if I finally stopped hiding? This weekend, don't wait for the scream. Listen to the whisper and answer it.